the Bill of Rights and the 17 other amendments to the Constitution. Track 1. Bill of Rights, General Contents. The Bill of Rights contains the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. These amendments serve to limit the power of the federal government. They serve to protect the rights of citizens, residents, and visitors. Among the rights are freedom of press, religion, and speech, the right to keep and bear arms, the freedom of assembly and petition, and the rights to be free of forced self-incrimination, cruel and unusual punishment, and unreasonable search and seizure. The Bill of Rights also explicitly reserves all powers not granted to the federal government to either the people or the states. It prohibits the government from depriving any person of life, liberty, or property without using the due process of law. In criminal cases, it requires an indictment by a grand jury for any capital or major crime. It guarantees a speedy trial with an impartial jury locally. It prohibits double jeopardy or being tried twice for the same crime. Track 2. Contents of the other 17 amendments. Only 17 amendments to the Constitution have been ratified in over 200 years. The first 10 are commonly referred to as the Bill of Rights, ratified only a few years after the Constitution itself was ratified. 9 of the remaining 17 relate to how the federal government operates. 4 provide equal rights to African Americans with specific stipulations to protect those rights. Only 4 relate to other issues, 2 with regard to liquor, 1 denying its use and the other repealing that amendment, the third a federal income tax, and the final one confirming women's right to vote. The 9 that address federal government issues are 11 limited the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court in 1795, 12 provided for a redesign of presidential selection, 17 provided for direct election of senators by the voters, 20 moved up the date presidents and Congress took office, 22 created the 2-term presidential term limit, 23 gave the District of Columbia electoral votes, 25 provided for the presidential disability procedures, 26 allowed citizens to vote at age 18, and 29 provided restraints on congressional pay raises. Of the remaining 8, half relate to slavery issues. 13 prohibits slavery, 14 guarantees the rights of citizens and all other people, 15 specifically confirms black men's right to vote, and 24 prohibits voters being disenfranchised for a failure to pay a poll tax. 2 relate to the prohibition of liquor, 18 prohibiting liquor, 21 repealing 18. 16 authorize the collection of federal income taxes, and 19 specifically confirms women's right to vote. Track 3. General origins of the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights emerges from the concerns expressed by the anti-federalists, or those who feared a strong federal government, and those such as Thomas Jefferson and the author of the Bill of Rights, James Madison, that wanted the people's rights explicitly recognized. The Bill of Rights was drafted by James Madison, who also wrote the Constitution itself. Madison was perceived by members of the Philadelphia or Constitutional Convention in 1787 as a fair person concerned with both the interests of the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. The Constitution was passed at the convention and ratified by the states, largely on the good faith dealings of both parties, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists, promising to do something about the people's rights. James Madison earned this trust through his statements to Congress and the document itself. He stated 2 important things. When submitting his proposal to Congress on June 8, 1789, for the Bill of Rights, he said, quote, "For while we feel all inducements to go into a revisal of the Constitution, we must feel for the Constitution itself and make that revisal a moderate one. I should be unwilling to see a door opened for a reconsideration of the whole structure of government, for a reconsideration of the principles and the substance of the powers given. Because I doubt if we should be very likely to stop at that point, which would be safe to the government itself. But I do wish to see a door open to
Sample complete. Ready to continue?